Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. This is 3 Secrets to Creating Your Massive Global Movement. I am Jocelyn Mercado, the founder of Sacred Planet. So excited to be sharing this with you today. And we are going to go live on YouTube. So let me just set that up here. And as everyone is signing in, please go ahead. Let's see here. Please go ahead and put your name and location in the chat so I can see where you're calling in from. That would be wonderful. And let's see, might not let us do it here. Let's see if it'll let us. Well, all right. It looks like the live on YouTube is not going to work, so we'll go live on Facebook instead. How about that? Okay, here we go. Thanks for your patience all. And yeah, let me welcome you all here. So welcome to Louise in Illinois. Welcome to Sanya in Munich. Welcome to Marold in the Netherlands. Welcome to Rose in Austria. Type this in quickly here. Great. Should be all set up there. Okay, great. So welcome, Renee from Ohio. I hope I said your name right. Welcome, Monique. Yes, feeling the Lion's Gate today. Oh my goodness, 8/8. This has been quite a day, a powerful day. Welcome, Viv from Ottawa. Welcome, Daisy in California. Welcome, Rahana in Johannesburg. Welcome, Elaine in Portland. Peggy in North Carolina. Teddy in Virginia. Fantastic. Yeah, welcome, Mallory, Sarah, Dawn, Colleen, Jim. So many beautiful people. Welcome to all of you. And yeah, I'm so excited to gather here with you today. So let me stop sharing the image here. Okay, wonderful. And so, yeah, I welcome all of you as you're joining to put your name and location in the chat if you haven't already, and also to light a candle or burn some sage, whatever helps you to really settle into the space and into the sacredness of this gathering here. We have such a beautiful global gathering with people joining from all over the world. And this is just, it's so special. I think it's really wonderful how we can gather online. We can use technology in this beautiful way to bring our energies together and to bring our hearts together in this shared sacred space together, and really set our intentions on this powerful day for a bright, bright future for all of life, for all of humanity, for all beings, right? And also for each of you who are watching, to really powerfully set your intentions today. This is the Lionsgate Day. This is 8/8. And I wanted to learn more about Lionsgate, right? Because this is very fascinating. We're hearing all about it, getting emails about it, seeing YouTube videos about Lionsgate. But I wanted to find out, like, what is the historical foundation of this Lionsgate? And so what it is, as I have found out, in one article in particular that I'll share with you, that's a bit of a scientific article from skyandtelescope.com, is that it is at this time of year, always around August 8th, that the star Sirius, which was very, very sacred to the people of ancient Egypt and other ancient cultures nearby there, the star Sirius becomes visible in the dawn sky once again at this time of year. And that was after months and months of it being in the underworld, you know, invisible, right? As it was not visible in the nighttime sky at all. So now the star Sirius, it's somewhat near the constellation Orion. So now at dawn, around this time of year, you can see Orion starting to rise, just as the sun is starting to rise. And you can also see the star Sirius. And there's a word for this. The star Sirius is making its heliacal rising. that is when a star first appears on the horizon again after having been not visible for several months. So it's really fantastic because this star Sirius was, as I mentioned, very sacred to the ancient Egyptians. And it's because when the star Sirius began to rise and began to reappear, it meant that the Nile rivers would be flowing again. And so it was after a long period of drought, the star Sirius would rise, the Nile would also rise and would bring life back to the land. And so this was a very celebrated time. And this was a time when people knew that, okay, going forward, things were going to be okay again. There would be water to water the crops and for the people to drink again. And this star also became associated with the ancient goddesses, Isis, Ishtar, and Inanna. And if you will remember the mythology around these particular goddesses, they all had to go into the underworld to bring back the king or their true love or their brother, right? Depending on the story, they had to go into the underworld and bring him back, right? Or find him and put him back together, depending on the story, right? And bring him back. So as the star Sirius is rising from the underworld, the ancient peoples, likened that to these stories of these ancient goddesses who had to go to the underworld and then they would rise back again, and fertility would come back to the land and life would come back to the land. So this 8/8 Lionsgate, it's really special. It's got very, very ancient roots, and I'm really feeling the power of it today. I'm sure you probably all are too, but I just wanted to share that little bit of history there. So as we come into this space today on 8/8, I want to welcome you to really turn off all distractions and, close down the other windows on your computer, put your phone to the side, set it on silent, and really allow yourself to be calm and clear and centered and grounded in this space here. I'm going to share with you in a little bit a beautiful meditation to help you connect with the deep power of your purpose and the power that lies within your soul. And I'm going to share some really beautiful things with you to really help you catalyze your global movement that you are meant to bring forward. And so go ahead and, turn off all those distractions, close the door to your room or your office, really become fully present here. And I'm planning for this presentation to last about 60 minutes, and then it will be followed by a live audience Q&A, so you can ask any questions at that point. And I just want to let you know that you're in the right place. If you are someone who just knows that you are here in this lifetime for a bigger purpose. And you've probably had this knowing for a long time, right? It's like it's always been a part of you, this really deep understanding that you're meant to bring something powerful and life-changing into the world. It may be that you've had past lives that had a lot of suffering and trauma, and in this lifetime you may have had a lot of challenges. And so I would be willing to bet that you're someone who has had the courage to do your deep inner healing work, and that now you're really ready. You're feeling like you are ready at this time to bring that big kind of healing to others. And you may have felt since a very young age that you're here to instigate social change or a revolution or a massive movement for positive impact on our planet. And you may already have a successful business or a movement or a community that you've started, but you have a sense that there's so much more that you're here for. There's so much more that you're capable of. So if any or all of those apply to you, you are in the right place. And I just can't wait to share this with you today. And so there's a critical truth that you need to know, which I mentioned in the emails that went out before this, but I really want to state it again because it's really important. So if you've been feeling stuck around becoming more visible with your mission and your message, there is a critical truth that you need to know. And that is that there's always a solution. There is always a different way that's possible that will provide the results that you're seeking. And very, very usually, right, almost always, it's right in front of us, right? It's like right here, right in front of our nose. And all we need is a little shift in perspective to be able to see that. So I hope to give you that shift in perspective today. to really bring new clarity and new things to light for you that maybe you haven't been able to see the way forward before. And now the way will become clear or open up, or some new information will be provided. So definitely, I know this is true for me. I'm sure it's true for a lot of you. A lot of us received new insights, new understandings, and some new challenges during the month of July that we just had, during this time of these two really powerful eclipses and multiple planets being in retrograde. I know there were just so many random things that went wrong that didn't make any sense. And also like big new revelations, big new ideas and insights coming through for me and for many other people that I've been in contact with. So if that was your experience and might still be ongoing for you, go ahead and type yes in the chat. I would just love to hear from you if that has been true for you. It's like challenges and weird, predicaments at the same time as like big new insights and revelations. So type yes if you're feeling that one. Okay. Yes, we got some yeses popping up over here. Yes, it has been intense. It's like intense is just not a strong enough word anymore. We need a new word. The other thing I'm noticing about the energy right now is that things are just moving so fast, so rapidly. It's like we're being called to heal very rapidly. We're being called to evolve very rapidly. We're being called to take action and move forward on things more rapidly than before. And it's like, I've almost like lost track of if I'm like still keeping up or not. It's like we're trying to do our best here and keep up and move with the energy, but the energy is going really rapidly and we're being called to keep up with this, right? And to evolve and take action in new ways that may feel unfamiliar to us, but to also do that more quickly. So it's really interesting. It's quite fascinating to be living in these times. I'll give you a resource that's really wonderful. Let me just share this with you. I don't know, probably a lot of you have heard of Lee Harris. He is an intuitive and he gives monthly energy updates. Let me just give you a link, and don't stop and watch this now, okay? But you can click on it and then watch it later. But definitely stay tuned in here right now. I just want to share this with you. This is Lee Harris. This is his August energy update. So click on that, save it for after the webinar. It's amazing. It's awesome. And yeah, definitely like sign up for more updates from him, because he really has his finger on the pulse of like exactly what is going on energetically each month. It's very inspiring to listen to him and feel that confirmation of, oh my gosh, yes, that's what I'm going through, right? Really, really good. So enjoy that. So let me get into these 3 secrets with you. Okay, the 3 secrets for how to launch your massive global movement. And I hope you'll be surprised by what these are. So the first secret is that we truly must tap into the higher intelligence of the earth and the cosmos in order to receive the vision, in order to receive the information that will guide us. We have been living in a time where it's, science is prioritized, logic and reason are prioritized. We are coming out of that. We are definitely, eclipses and retrogrades are helping us to shift out of that. But that is still very much like the mainstream way of doing. That is the mainstream way of working, being in business, being, in economic standing, right? Is this logic and reason. And what is becoming more and more clear is that each of us is being called in a really big way and in an increasingly rapid way to step into our mission, into our soul's mission. And our soul's mission has nothing to do with reason and logic, right? So we want to be really tuned in to the higher intelligence that's coming through. And that can arrive in many, many ways, right? That can arrive in the form of dreams. That can arrive in the form of synchronicities. It can arrive in the form of like new people, new connections coming into our lives that we never expected. And so what we need to do is to be really, really open and really, really ready to receive these new opportunities and new information as it comes in. Okay, so because when these things appear, we need to be able to recognize that, ooh, this is like meaningful. This is something a little different than what I've experienced before. This feels a little sparkly. This feels a little magical. This is very unexpected. And when we have that sense, when we get that, like when we get chills, right? When something unexpected happens that kind of came out of the blue, or when we, get a message from one of our guides or from an animal. There's many ways that this can arrive, or when we have a really big dream that feels like it has a powerful message. It's so important to respond, right? It's so important to respond in some way. Now, we've got to tune into our intuition to find out what that response will be, or should be, or could be, because it's very different for each and every one of us. But it's really so important. And then especially on days like today, where this is the Lionsgate day, this is the day that Sirius is returning, the goddess Isis is returning to us, right? There are certain days when the portals are really, really open for us to receive. And so because this is one of those days, I want to take you into a meditation, really a shamanic journey, to make some deeper soul level discoveries. So let me share with you an image here. And this image just makes me think of diving in really deeply into the cosmos, into the source of all creation. And I'm going to play a drum beat for you. Okay, and so just allow the drum beat and my words to carry you along through this guided journey, guided meditation. Let me begin the drum beat here. And the drum beat will be soft most of the time, but I'll allow it to get a little louder when you need to really dive in deeply. Okay, so go ahead and close your eyes and start taking some deep breaths. So take a deep breath in, breathing in, filling your lungs all the way up. And when your lungs are all the way full, hold for just a moment before releasing that breath fully, emptying your lungs fully. And then take one more big deep breath all the way in. Fill your lungs all the way. Really feel the abundance of the oxygen and the sunlight flowing into your body as you take that in breath. And hold that breath for a moment at the top. And then release that breath fully. So in this meditation, we're going to connect in with the higher intelligence of the universe and find out what might want to be revealed to you after the catharsis and the catalyzing experiences of the past month of July. So listening to the drum beat, listening to my voice, sink deep, deep, deeply in within yourself. Really allow yourself to go into the very center of your being. And allow yourself to go there and experience a very dreamlike state. And there in the center of your being, you will find a wide, calm, very deep lake. Now this lake at the center of your being, this is your soul. It is always within you. It is always very still and very calm. This lake, your soul, can never ever be harmed or wounded. It does not get angry or frustrated. It is the calm, clear center that is always there within you. And I invite you now to stand at the edge of your lake. Just stand there and gaze down into the water. Notice how deep the water is here. Really see and sense into the depths before you. And feel the sheer power of the water that fills up your lake. Water is said to be one of the most powerful forces on earth. Really feel the intense mystery and purpose that lie deep within you, here in your soul. And also now look across the lake and notice that you cannot see to the opposite shore. That's how wide your lake is. Really feel into the immensity of it. And now I invite you to call to your side a guide, but not just any guide. I want you to call a guide which can fly. So this may be an eagle or a hawk. It may be a dragon or a bat. It may be a guide you see often and now they have wings. It may be a cloud or an angel, any guide which can fly. So once your guide has appeared, thank them for coming. And then go ahead and begin to rise up from the ground and begin to fly with your guide. Rise high up into the air with your guide. And both of you now are beginning to fly over your lake. You notice that you're flying very fast, but it seems that no matter how far you go, you still have a really long way before you'll reach the other side. This lake mirrors the vastness of your soul. It stretches across unfathomable distances. It is nearly infinite. And while you are flying and just really feeling in awe of the vastness of your soul, listen in now, because your guide has an important message for you. I will pause from talking for a moment so you can hear this message from your guide. And once you receive that message, go ahead and keep on flying now above the clouds, above your still, calm lake. And as you're flying high up in the sky, you begin to feel a certain confidence rising up in you. This is a newer, stronger confidence than you've felt ever before, because you're recognizing that your purpose, your mission, is vast and deep and even more infinite than you ever realized before. And you sense that the clues to this bigger purpose are hidden in the mystery by the waters of the lake. And now your guide is speaking to you, and your guide is asking you to think of the ways that you are feeling stuck and trapped today in your life as related to your purpose, perhaps related to career or relationships or health. Just think of where you are struggling. And your guide goes on to say, if you truly tune in to your intuition and the synchronicities and the opportunities that will show up for you during the next year, these struggles and stuck places and challenges will go away. They will be healed. Rapid healing is possible now. And then your guide asks you, do you want to see what your life will look like 10 years from now? Once these challenges are completely removed and you've been able to live fully. And then your guide tells you that you're about to come down for a landing because you've finally reached the opposite shore of your lake. And your guide says that on the opposite shore, you're going to see what your life will look like 10 years from now if you truly tune into your intuition for the next year. So you and your guide come down for a landing, and now you get to see the image of your life 10 years from now, after you have been living so fully, after you have tuned into your intuition and the synchronicities and the abundance and really allowed them to fully come into your life. I will give you a few minutes here to look and see what your life will be like. And once you have taken in this information about what your future will be like 10 years from now, your guide invites you to turn toward the water and stand again at the edge of the water, now on the other side of the lake. And then your guide invites you to dive in to these waters, to dive in and swim all the way down to the bottom and find a treasure there. This is a treasure that has always been in your soul, has always been a part of you, but has never been shown to you before. It's something that you're already fully capable of, but you've just never known that it's there inside of you. So as you look down at the water and think about diving in, you may feel some fear about diving all the way to the bottom, but your guide tells you it's okay. You will be completely protected. So you listen and you dive in and you begin to swim down and further down and further down. Your lake is so deep. The mystery of your soul is very deep. And as you swim, you realize that you're not running out of oxygen. You are somehow protected and able to keep on holding your breath for as long as you need to. You look around and you notice the beauty of all the life that is there underneath the surface of the lake, the beauty of this underwater world and the mystery it holds. And then you reach the floor of the lake and you look around. You see movement off to one side, and then you notice that another guide is there waiting for you. This is a guide that's very, very special to you. You approach this guide and they uncover the treasure that's been waiting for you here. I will give you a couple of minutes to receive that treasure and hear the wisdom that this other guide wants to share with you. So now that you've received the treasure and listened to the wisdom of this guide, now I invite you to swim back up toward the surface and find your flying guide and fly back over to the side of the lake that you began on. And then thank your guide for being with you today and for helping you. And say goodbye for now. And then when you are ready, start rising back up, begin coming back up from the center of your being. Begin coming back into your waking consciousness. And maybe you can move your fingers, wiggle your fingers and your toes. And take a deep breath in now. Breathing all the way in, filling your lungs all the way once again. And holding that breath at the top for a moment before breathing all the way out. And when you're ready, you can go ahead and open your eyes. And come back fully present here. And if there's anything that you want to write down from that journey, anything you want to make a note of to be sure you won't forget, go ahead and do that. Feel free. Sometimes that's really important. Because when we do a meditation or a journey like that, we're so far into the dream space that sometimes we don't remember it a couple hours later. So go ahead and write down, take note of anything that might be important, and then come back fully present here to our call. So that was secret number one, and it's that we have got to tap into the higher intelligence of the earth and the cosmos and the universe, right, in order to receive our vision, in order to know how to move forward. Logic and reason alone are not enough anymore. We are being given big downloads of information. We are being given new and revised and updated missions for sure, right? And we're being opened up intuitively, and we're being more and more tuned into our true power to know what we are capable of. I'm here to tell you, and I'm sure you're probably already realizing that what you are capable of is so much greater than you could even possibly imagine in this moment. And it's that deep, deep, deep lake, right? There's so much more to your soul and your mission here than you could possibly know. So we want to really tap into that, right? And be moving forward and making decisions from that really deeply connected space. And that is when things happen in a whole different way. Things can move forward in a whole new way. The logic and reason and rules and restrictions that have kept us trapped can just be like pushed aside sometimes when we're following those synchronicities and possibilities and new connections. So we want to really tap into that. It's going to help us on all levels. Now, secret number 2 is that we don't have to know how it's meant to happen, right? We don't have to know how. And this is really hard because we want to have a plan. We want to have this like concrete step-by-step plan. And if you have that, it's great. And that is very, very helpful. Like if you have the step-by-step plan and you're tapped into the higher intelligence of the universe, then you are golden and you are good to go, right? But a lot of the time we need to be in the mystery for a while. And so we might be receiving the visions, but not fully knowing what they mean. You may have received that treasure in the meditation, but this is still an unfolding process. Like, okay, so what exactly does that mean? So we don't have to know exactly how it's meant to happen, but the important thing is to respond, is to receive the messages and take action in some decisive way that feels intuitively right to you. So think about now from the meditation that we just did, okay, and from the information that you just received. What is one way that you could take action on that within the next few days? What is one thing that you could do? And if you have ideas about this, I invite you to write them in the chat. What is an action? Now, if it didn't, even if it either that it came out from the meditation, right, that there was something you saw in the meditation and now you have some clarity on a new way that you can take action, or, so type that in the chat if you have that, or if there's just a way that you need to take action that you haven't done yet, that has been with you for a little while already. Maybe it came through in July, right? But you either know intuitively or you know in some way that this is an action you need to take. Go ahead and write that in the chat too. Peggy says complete purchase of the land. That sounds very important, Peggy. I would definitely do that. That feels very powerful. Now, and go ahead, anybody else who knows what that is, what is your next action? Go ahead and write that in the chat. Now, the thing is, very, very often the action that we know we need to take, for one thing, we may not yet be able to see exactly how it's going to get us there to our larger vision, and that is okay. That's where we don't need to know the how. For another thing, that action that we know we need to take, it can seem really, really scary. It can seem bigger than we feel that we can handle. It can seem to require resources that we don't know if we have yet, right? It can seem just scary on a survival level too, whether it means ending a relationship or quitting a job or stepping into a new form of visibility around our mission and our message and like what we're called to bring to the world. All of that can be really scary. But as I've said in other workshops that you all have probably heard, if it's really scary and if you feel that it is tied to your purpose and it is tied to your larger mission, then that scary thing is the absolute most important thing that you can possibly do. We must go toward our fears in order to, first of all, overcome the fear and find out it's not life-threatening, it's not as bad as we thought. But also, very, very often, this is just the way the world works. This is the way the universe is organized. In order to fulfill our purpose, we need to do what scares us the most. And once we move through that and we go toward our fear and we see that it is actually survivable, that we can actually end that relationship or quit that old job or take the risk of starting that business or, confront an actual, like a phobia or a fear in some way. Once we do that and move through it and get to the other side of it, we create an entirely new experience of life for ourselves. And we find out that so much more is possible. So much has opened up. The resources have now become available. And so this is really important to dive into, each and every one of you, right? Really find out what is that action that you know you need to take. And if it's terrifying for you, all the more reason to go ahead and take it. So let me read some more of the comments here that have come in the chat. Louise is saying to create an art book on the path to feminine wisdom. Beautiful. Viv is saying book room for the workshop I've been thinking about giving. Yes, yes, do it, do it. Aini is saying to find an immigration lawyer. Yes, that feels very important. Verena is saying schedule my workshop, play shop. Yes, love it. Kate says, I was told I must be the boldest I've ever been in my life, but I don't yet know what the exact action is. Now, if you don't know, if it's really not clear what the action step is, then the best action you can do is to ask, right? To spend some time in meditation, spend some time in ritual space or ceremonial space if you can, and ask your guides. And you might have to ask a lot of times. Sometimes we only have to ask once and it's like boom and we get it. Other times we might have to ask many times. And either way is okay, but that can be the most important action step, is just to ask, what does this mean? Or what is the action? Or what do I need to know about this, right? Kelsey says to tell my story. Beautiful. Kathleen says to keep on working, on track and doing well. Awesome, Kathleen, that's fantastic. So glad to hear it. Jeff says, I received an energetic marker or item that is a connection to the core of the heart of creation and have been shown how to invite others into the same place. Wow, Jeff, that feels very, very powerful. I am currently doing this through the avenue of astrology with a twist. Wow, yes, good, Jeff, definitely continue with that. That feels very important. And Kate, I think this is a follow-up from the other thing. Kate says, I intuit it. It's about setting boundaries and speaking my truth. With my husband about what I most deeply want. Oh, yes, yes, yes. I'm getting a big yes on that one, Kate. Okay, so many really powerful answers here. Thank you all for sharing. And yes, I will read the rest of these in the chat a little bit later. But thank you all so much for sharing. These are really, really powerful. And this is so big, you know, we're being catalyzed from the inside out. You know, so many of you know, right? You know what that step is. And it's about courage, and it's about moving forward, whether the resources are all the way there or not, right? And it's about really, really going in within, like we did in the meditation just now, and feeling the power, the depth, all the resources that are in there, right, that are inside of us, because we truly, every single one of us, we have everything we need to bring forth our important message, to create a brighter future for our planet and for all of life. We are each meant to play a critical role in that, and we each have exactly what we need. So as I have shared before, that Archon Lashwala says in his book, The Time of the Black Jaguar, we need to live with certainty, not with doubt, but with certainty. So these things that you've written in the chat here, these action steps that you know in your heart and soul you need to take, claim these action steps with certainty and go forth with courage and carry them out. And you will be doing your biggest work, absolute biggest work. Okay, so that was secret number 2, is that we don't have to know how. The important thing is to take action in the way that feels aligned, even if we can't see exactly how that's going to get us there, right? Now, secret number 3 is we need to get visible with our message. So many of you have stated things that are very much in alignment with this, right? So start, planning, scheduling your workshop, creating an art book on the path to feminine wisdom, book room for the workshop I've been thinking about. Sarah says to start my blog, right? Colleen, I need to get onto the TED stage, right? Yes, exactly, Colleen. Yes. This is so beautiful, because these are about becoming visible with your important message. And I think we're really being called to this on a whole new level right now. You know, after this July that we've just had, we're really being called to stand up, to speak out like we never have before. I know so many of you are feeling this really strongly. I'm feeling this really strongly. And this visibility piece can be the most frightening thing of all, because we may have had past lives where we were visible as a healer or a shaman or a witch, and we may have been killed or tortured for that, right? We may have become visible in this lifetime and been, not respected or ridiculed or harmed in some way. You know, this can happen when we're young, when we stand up in school, we get laughed at, right? This can happen in so many different ways. And often what happens in this lifetime is mirroring what happened in other lifetimes in a slightly different way. And so it takes tremendous courage to move toward that fear and to get to the other side of that fear, where you can arrive at a place of being truly visible with full confidence, fully living, right? Fully living your mission. And that is really what I want for each and every one of you. And the path to that looks very different for every person, as with all of the unique and beautiful answers that were shared here in the chat. But I really want to call you to action here, to call you forth to step into your courage, step into your power, move toward that fear, and find your space of visibility in whatever that means for you. Now, that may mean getting on a TED stage or a TEDx stage. That is fantastic. It may mean blogging with your unique perspective and sharing that with the world. It may mean creating YouTube videos. That's a really fun and wonderful way to get your message out. It may be around stepping into your healing work, right? It may be about really expanding into the fullness of your gifts and talents around healing that maybe you've kept hidden a little bit, kept under the rug, not allowed them to fully blossom and share them with others. It may be about creating a website. It may be about creating a monthly women's circle or men's circle where people can gather and receive support and healing and uplifting, nourishing time together, right? There are many, many ways to get visible. Now, I want to share with you one way that is very near and dear to my heart. And this is something that I am really excited to announce to all of you here. And I am sure that some of you will feel the call to proceed with this being your action step. So, as you all know, I create online summits, online conferences, and we just completed one in the middle of July that was the Fierceness of the Mother Global Conference. I hope all of you had a chance to see some of the interviews. It was very, very powerful. If you've missed the interviews, there are still a few, just a handful of them that I left available on my Sacred Planet YouTube channel, so you can go check them out if you want. But this model of creating an online conference or an online summit is so, so powerful for getting your important message out into the world. And so if you're at a place where you know you're meant to be showing up in a bigger way, and you know you're meant to start a movement or a business or a revolution of some sort, or if you are writing a book, or if you've already written a book and you don't know how to get it out to a wider audience, this online model of connecting people, of connecting you with these experts and teachers, allowing you to build your audience in that way, it's very, very powerful for launching any of these types of things that you might be called to do, right? So if you're on the path to creating your global movement, an online summit or an online conference is a really, really powerful way to go. So it allows you, I will just share with you some of the things that become possible from creating an online summit, okay? So it allows you to connect with and even to have profound conversations with experts and teachers and authors and thought leaders who you've always, always wanted to meet. And it allows you to collaborate with them, so you will, as the person who's running the online summit or the online conference, you will interview these experts. And then after the conference is over, very, very often, you will stay friends with them and stay in connection with them and even collaborate with them in the future, right? So it's really exciting in that way. Through the online summit or conference, you will be generously sharing information that will assist in the global awakening of consciousness and really and truly changes people's lives, right? When we share information in this way. After creating summits, I've had so many people write to me. People after every single summit will write to me and say, thank you so much for this information. It changed my life. I never would have known that this information was available, that this new perspective was available if I hadn't seen your summit, right? So this is like bringing information out in this way is such an important part of how we can use technology positively for global change, right? And to create that positive future that we want to see. And this model, this online summit, online conference model, allows you to create a platform that is perfectly designed to support and expand the success of, as I mentioned before, your book, your business, your community, your movement, your revolution. Whatever it is that you want to focus on to make that community or that business or that movement happen, you can create the topic of your summit to be fully, fully aligned with that, right? And then what you're going to be doing is bringing in an audience, and the audience for these events, using the system that I use to create them, you will bring in between 2,000 to 5,000 new tribe members who are perfectly, perfectly aligned with your core message because they are aligned with the topic of your event. So this is really, really extremely powerful for gathering a tribe. And if you know that in order to make a big difference in your work, for the planet, right, for the future right now, that in order to do that, you need to create a tribe, you need to bring people together. This is an incredible model to do that. And you will also bring in there's income also generated from this. You'll bring in $2,000 to $8,000 in immediate income from purchases of the interview series, but also you'll be able to generate as much income as you want based on selling programs after the event, right? Or selling your book, or gathering your community in a new way, right? So this brings together your tribe, and then you have this highly engaged audience there to speak to, right? And that you are now a leader of this community. It's really, really powerful to step into your thought leadership in that way. So I've been creating online summits for about 4 years now, a little over 4 years, and I've been guiding people, my clients, to create them for about 2 years now. And I've created a very finely tuned system that I call online event creation. And so if you would like to learn more about this process, if you would like to learn more about my step-by-step system to create a really powerful and groundbreaking event, I'm going to put the link in the chat here to fill out an application. And so just go ahead and fill this out. If this is interesting to you, if this is intriguing, if this feels like something that might be a really good action step for you in creating your movement, your business, your community, your tribe, go ahead and click on that link there and fill out the application, and I'll be in touch with you soon. I am starting a new, we have these online event creation groups, okay? And there is a group starting at the end of August or early September. And so if you are interested in starting soon, we have a new group starting then. It's a really, really powerful way to create a summit in a small group of 5 to 7 people who are, each creating their own unique event. And it's kind of like a mastermind atmosphere because everybody is really inspiring one another, learning from one another's experiences in creating these events. It's very, very powerful. And so, yeah, if you would like to start soon, you can. If you're not sure when you want to start, then go ahead and fill out the application anyway. We can talk about it. We can figure out if this is something for this year, for next year, you know. The divine timing will kick in for you, I'm sure. And so I just want to share that, you know, this is the way that I launched my business, was by creating an online conference originally back at the beginning of Sacred Planet. And creating my first one allowed me to quit my job. It allowed me to have the income to truly, truly support my family. And I continue to have between either 2 or 3 summits a year, partly because I have so much fun with it. I love doing summits. I love speaking to the speakers and the interviews. This is clearly like a big part of my mission and my work in the world, at least at this point in my life right now. And also, it continually grows my business. I never need to make Facebook ads. I never need to have a funnel set up. I don't deal with all those little, you know, fiddly pieces of, you know, having a business that feel markety, that feel salesy. I don't like to operate in that way. And instead, what I do is I create summits, 2 or 3 a year. And it's just such a beautiful way to grow my business, to always be providing really valuable and uplifting and inspiring information to my existing audience, right? In a very generous way, providing this new information to the world, making connections with these amazing speakers, collaborating with them on other projects. It's such a fun way to build and grow your business. I can't say it enough. And it's something that I believe in so deeply. So that's why I want to share it with you, with all of you who are feeling the call to this. So with that, let me go and open this up for Q&A. And so, let me read a beautiful comment that Kate has put in here. Thank you, Kate. This is so wonderful. So Kate says, as a current student of Jocelyn's online event creation, I can say that hands down, it is the best decision I've ever made as I make the transition into my highest spiritual destiny in business and in life. That is so beautiful, Kate. You're on such an amazing journey, Kate, my dear friend. It's so beautiful to see. And yeah, this is something that I just want to mention quickly before we go to the Q&A. This is a very transformational process. Now, I know we might all be feeling we don't need any more transformation right now, right? But the level of confidence and clarity in your mission, and just really the experience of seeing what you are truly capable of creating, like this amazing event, bringing together these speakers, to go through the experience of building that and seeing what you're actually capable of creating. It is very transformational. You will be changed by going through this experience of creating an online event. And that's certainly what Kate is experiencing and sharing with us. And it's my experience. Truly, every time I create a new summit, I am changed in new and different ways. So yes, and Monique says too, yes, you will be changed. Absolutely. It's really incredible, very transformational. And once it's all complete and you realize like the size of the event, how many people it reached, how many lives were touched, how many speakers were involved, it's just a huge and beautiful confidence boost. And a testament to your soul, a testament to what you're really, truly capable of. Let's see. Okay, so let's go to the Q&A. And if you have a question about anything I've shared during this presentation today, or really anything at all, go ahead and raise your hand. My voice is getting scratchy here. So there is a hand icon. If you click on that, it will allow you to raise your hand and be visible to me, and I will call on you. And also, you can put questions in the chat if you would like. Give me just a minute here to take another drink. Oh, Jeff, let me answer your question here. So Jeff, I think you might have gotten your answer from what I said. Jeff said, I came in late for this gathering and don't know who you are offering this magical experience to. So yeah, this is for, okay, you did get your answer. Okay, good, good, good. Okay, wonderful. Yeah, so any questions at all, don't be shy now. We've shared a lot here today. Okay, bye Kate. See you later. Thank you for your beautiful comments. Much appreciated. Okay, we do have a hand raised. Okay, Jeff, let me bring you over. So if you raise your hand, I will bring you over to talk with me. You can keep your video on. I welcome you to be visible. It's great to be visible. If you prefer to turn your video off and just be audio only, that's fine too. So Jeff, I will bring you over now. Hi, Jeff. Welcome. How are you?
Great. I've got a curiosity. Is I can definitely tell. You know, I wasn't even aware that this thing was going on, but I just stumbled across it in my email, so I just jumped on in, and you were like just starting the journey, and so I went, "Wow, I'm on board." So
great.
I'm just kind of curious as to who you may have studied with along the way, because I definitely feel the shamanic overlay of the whole thing. Form of energy work that you have tapped very deeply into. So, yeah, welcome aboard.
Thank you. Yeah, well, I'm glad you're feeling it. Yeah. Yes. Well, I have studied with different teachers, and it's certainly not it has not been any kind of formal certification or anything like that. It has been
that's not important.
Life experience, and yeah, but I mean, if you follow my work, you would definitely know that Pat McCabe, Woman Stand Shining, is definitely one of my mentors and most one of the most cherished people in my life for sure. She's really, really amazing, and there have been a few others, you know, along the way. I highly recommend as well Arkan Lashwala. He has 2 books. The first one being The Time of the Black Jaguar. Really incredible book.
What was his name again?
Yeah, Arkan, Arkan, and his last name is Lushwala, Lushwala. He does some work with the Pachamama Alliance in San Francisco.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, really beautiful, beautiful work. I can recommend you to both of those amazing individuals.
There are some absolutely phenomenal teachers out there these days that are really available. I've studied with quite a few different people as well. So you know, I send my new heart energy being, because it really didn't have a form. It was more like it was just there, and you know, I just allow that to just be out there and be present in this moment. So
beautiful.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I'd never run
joined us. Before. Yeah, welcome. Glad you joined us, and glad you got to do
the show.
All right, thank you. Have a wonderful day, Jeff.
Ciao.
Okay, bye. All right. Let's see. Yeah, let me put, and so, yeah, as I said, these, you know, I have studied with some teachers, but not in any formalized way. So Pat McCabe, Woman Stands Shining. If you want to learn about her, if you go to my YouTube channel, you will see some interviews I've done with her. She brings absolutely beautiful and amazing wisdom to the world. Let me put the link to my YouTube channel here, so you can all check that out if you haven't already. Let's see here. Several of my teachers you will find on my YouTube channel, as well as amazing speakers that I have connected with through these summits. So lots of wisdom there. Let's see. So Kathleen is asking, I missed the intro. If time allows, could you reiterate the dynamics of this day in the Lion's Gate? So Kathleen, I don't want to repeat it, but I will tell you really briefly. It has to do with the rising of the star Sirius. This time of year is when the star Sirius becomes visible again. It's becoming visible now at dawn. It is having its heliacal rising. Oh, let me put that link to that article in here because it is really fascinating. Here is the link to the heliacal rising of Sirius. Very fascinating. You can read some about it there, and that star Sirius is the star Sirius has become associated with the ancient goddesses Isis and Inanna and Ishtar, who had to go into the underworld, just as the star Sirius has been invisible and in the underworld for several months now. And as the star Sirius is rising back up, it was seen in ancient times as the goddess coming back to the above world, the above ground world. So really beautiful, very powerful time of hope and like the life returning to the land. So hopefully, Kathleen, that gives you a little taste of it. And the recording of this will be sent out to everybody. So just hang on and you can hear the whole more, lengthy introduction when you watch the recording. Let's see. Jeff says the reason I asked on Archon is the Black Jaguar is my main healing helper. Yeah, so that's the other one. Archon Lishwala, The Time of Black Jaguar is his first book. And this is a book that will just change your life. If you have not yet read The Time of the Black Jaguar, go and find it, borrow it, buy it, whatever you need to do. It will change everything. And yeah, really, really powerful. Archon has powerful lineages of wisdom. Absolutely. So let's see, any other questions at all before we close here? Any more? So let me just post one more time here. If you are interested in the online event creating your own summit or online conference, just go ahead to this link here and fill out the application, and I'll be in touch with you soon. I would love to speak with you. And if you have any fear coming up around that, if you're feeling like, well, I feel called to that, but feels scary to become visible in that big of a way, fill out the application. Just let's chat about it, because maybe it's not for right away, but maybe it's for next year for you. Or, I've had a lot of people come through the programs that I offer who weren't sure if they were ready and have created the most beautiful and amazing events, because we really do take the process in a very step-by-step way. If you need a little more time to do it, you can take a little longer with it, right? We want to create time and spaciousness and make it feel, really, really fulfilling for you. So there's ways that we can work with it and be flexible. And again, you get my step-by-step system so that you are just following the steps, following the action steps, and moving forward in beautiful ways to create your event. So even if you're a little hesitant, go ahead and fill it out. I would love to talk with you and just see when the timing might be right for you. Helen says, thank you, Jocelyn. This is also new to me, but makes complete sense. I am somewhat sick with what I have realized, but know it is what I am called to do. I will look at your link. Okay. Yeah, it can feel like that, Helen. Sometimes we can feel sick when we realize what we really need to do. So that's really powerful, Helen. I honor you in that. And yeah, just stay with it. Stay with it. Trust and know that if you know it's what needs to happen, whatever it is that you're realizing there, trust in it. Approach it with certainty. Be gentle with yourself. Right? Approach yourself with love and compassion. These big shifts that we're experiencing right now are not easy, but they are so important. Okay, Ruthie says, you are an awesome mentor. Congratulations on getting this so well honed and being so generous. Oh, thank you, Ruthie. Yes, go Tree Sisters. Woo-hoo, go Tree Sisters. All right. Thank you all for your beautiful comments. Thank you, Daisy. And I feel like, okay, beautiful. All right. Well, I think with that, we'll go ahead and close. If there are no more questions, thank you all for attending. This was so beautiful to share with all of you. And I hope you've had some new insights, new clarity, new knowings about how you need to move forward, what your key action step needs to be. And I'm just sending many, many blessings to you and lots of love to have the courage to go ahead and take those steps and really tune in, listen to the synchronicities, listen to your dreams, look out for the opportunities and new people coming into your life. Really, really tune into that and pay attention and respond, right? I'm wishing you many, many blessings on all of these things that are happening for all of you right now. Lots and lots of love. And also to those who are watching this as a recording, sending love out to you too. And so, yes, hope everybody has a wonderful rest of your day here on 88 Lions Gate. Enjoy the energy. It's pretty amazing. Lots of love. Mwah.